Hi guys, in this video we are going to learn about that how we can create a multiple choice questions test in JavaScript. So first of all, let me show you. Here I have already created. So here we have the question, then we have the options using radio buttons, and for example I am clicking on submit answer, then I am just continuing with everything. So at the end you will get to know that how many questions you have made it correct. Alright, so in the same way you can actually expand this specific project into a higher level, but I will be giving you a basic knowledge that how you can develop such type of applications. Alright, so let's start with our original application. So here I have test.html and I have exam.html. so currently on the browser you are getting exam.html. so I'm gonna write here test.html. so here I don't have anything to display, so let's start with the video. I have this basic structure here. Now I'm gonna write here some heading MCQ test. I'm going to write here a div, and inside of it I'm going to add an ID like questions. So whatever questions would be shown over there, those we will be concatenate using this ID. And then let's write a script tag. Inside of it we will be writing the code. So first of all we have needed the array of questions, so let's start with that. For example, we have questions and here we have an array, and inside of that array we have array of questions. Alright, so for example in the first index I'm going to write here 2 plus 2, so this would be the question. Then I will have the answers, for example 4, 2, 5. So these are the three options that I am going to show here, and then at the last index I'm gonna write here the answer. So this would be my first question. Then I have another question here, so I'm gonna copy this and gonna paste it here. Alright, I will have 4 questions here. So let me change the values here, for example 2, 3, 5. You can modify according to your need, right? I'm just writing here. So for example I am writing here 3, and then I have 7. So these are the answers and everything. 6. So here you can see that B option is correct. Here you will get that C option is correct, and here you will be thinking that B option is correct. Alright, so we got a question array in which we have all the questions in 0, 1, 2 and 3 index, and we have questions in the first index, and in the second, third and fourth column we have the options, and in the fourth column we have in the fifth column we have the answer of each of the question. So we will be having 2 functions inside of it. First would be to show the questions, and another would be to identify the answer of the questions, I mean check the answer. Alright, so let's write here the function name. For example I have render question, and inside of it I will be writing the code of render question, and another function would be function check answer, and inside of it we will be checking the answers. Alright, so I wanted to declare some variables. So for example I have one variable for mentioning the position. So for example if I am talking about the first question, so that means the index would be 0, so position would be 0. Then I have another variable here like correct answer. So how many correct answer would be there? So this variable would be using to do the count. Alright, so let's start with this render question function. So how we will be identifying that our question is not going to be end. Alright, for example we have 4 questions. So first of all we need to check the condition that if position is greater than or equals to equals to questions dot length. So this means that now we finished the test. All right, so currently I'm just showing here the message that test completed. All right, so what does it mean? That position is greater than the length of this array. For example, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So if it is greater than 3, so that means that test going to be finished. Otherwise, and then after I need to return something, so return, because of which the code below this would not be executed. All right, otherwise what would happen here is I'm gonna take this ID from there. So document dot get element by ID, and inside of it I'm gonna write here question. All right, then I can modify the label, but for now I wanted to actually add some radio buttons and their labels. So I wanted to assign here this specific to question content. All right, so the element would be assigned into the question content, and then after I will be doing the concatenation. For example, question content dot inner HTML equals to, so what would be over here? So you can see that first of all we will have the question. So how we will be identifying the question? So we need to write here few variables. So let question equals to questions, then we will be giving the index of the array. So for example, whatever would be inside the position, so we wanted to show the first question, so the value of the position would be 0 here, and I wanted to point out the question only, so that means first index, that means 0. All right, so this would be my question. So what I will be writing here is question. All right, so this would be shown on the output screen. And another thing I need to write here is like whatever would be the options and whatever would be the answers, I need to write here. So for example, choice A equals to the same thing I will be writing from here, this one, and then I will be modifying their index. All right, so here you can see that first option would be on first index, second on the second one, and third on the third one, and at the end we will be having this answer. So let's do all the things. So you know that we will be having here choice B, choice C, and then currently if you will see this one, this means that on the question ID we have just added the question only, concatenated the question. All right, so let's check this. So I'm gonna add here a button. Inside of it I am going to write here a start. All right, and then writing here on click render question. So this is the function. So once I am clicking this button, then this function should be called. So let's see on the output screen that what would be over there. Yeah, we got the start. So once you are clicking, then you can see that we got this label. So that means the question is going to be displayed here, which we have assigned into the question ID. Then we need to concatenate each and everything. So what we gonna do here is question content dot inner HTML plus equals to, then we need to write here the input type equals to radio. So we need to show the radio buttons, and we are going to write here the names like choice. Here we need to add the single quote because we have enclosed the tag into the double quotes. So we will be writing here the single quote, and then choices, and then after value. So what would be the value? So value would be a. Actually we will be having the options, so that's why first option would be a, then b, then c, and d. All right, so here I am gonna concatenate the original option value, so this would be this one, and I'm gonna copy all this, by the way, and then paste it over here. And you can see that here what would be happening is, here we would be having the value b and then c, and here we will be getting the option b, and then we will be having c. All right, so now we are getting actually the options, radio buttons. So now what we need to do here is, we need to identify that which option is correct, and then we need to compare with this answer, the answer which is mentioned in the array, and then after we will be deciding that we will be incrementing the correct variable. All right, so how we will be knowing it? So first of all we need to access the choices, this choices array. All right, so here we will be calling the function here check answers, check answer. And now if you will see on the output screen, you will get something like this. For example, I am clicking on start, then you can see that all the options are over here. So this was the first question that going to be displayed. So I need to keep here the br tag, I mean to make it into the new line. So I'm gonna write here, and now you can see that this would be little bit cleaner. So this is the question, and all these are options. All right, so these are the options, and at the end we also needed a button here which would help us to submit. So I'm gonna write here the button, so I need to delete this one, and button here, and here is the close, and inside of it I need to add here submit answer, and I need to click on click of this button, I need to call the check answer function. All right, so I need not write here the check answer function, I need to call this function on click of this button. So once it would be clicked, let's save this and see on the output screen. So here you can see that once I clicking on start, then you can see the submit answer. So once I will be clicking on submit answer, then the question would be checked inside the check answer. So how we will be checking is, first of all we need to get all the options here. So for example, I have variable choices equals to document dot get element by name. All right, because we have actually mentioned here the names, so I need to add here the names choices, and you can see that whatever would be inside of choices, that would be actually an array. So if you wanted to see here, let me show you choices here. So let's run this, and I'm gonna inspect it, and you can see on the console once you are clicking on that submit button, then you can see that all the input 0, 1, 2, all are over here, and inside of each and every input there would be something, I mean value and all. Alright, so here would be the values and all the stuff you can explore from here actually. Alright, so let's check first. So what we need to do here is we need to first of all write here a for each loop. So you can see over here I have written the for each loop, and I need to mention here the name of the array, which is choices, and here is the element, and I need to check here if element dot checked, if the element, specific element has been checked, then I will be entering inside of it, and I will be modifying the value of the correct answer. Alright, so if that is the checked, and then after I need to actually compare the answer. So if element dot value equals to, then I need to mention here the questions array. Alright, and inside of it I need to write here the position, and you can see that position means the first question and then the last index. So what's the last index? Here is the first question, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4th. So that means on the 4th index there would be the answer. So if I am comparing with the current checked value, then I would get to know that whether this is the answer or not. If that would be correct, then correct variable would be incremented. So I don't think that till now whatever I have written the code, it is much difficult. Alright, I have just taken the choices of all the radio buttons. So whichever would be selected, actually when you are getting the choices in a variable, that means we have an array. So for iterating the array we will be using for each, and inside of it I have the condition that if specific choice has been checked, then I will be comparing the original answer with the checked value. So if that is true, then the correct plus plus means we are getting one answer which is correct. Alright, so at the end we will be calling again the render question. Sorry, not in this way. Yeah, this question, render question, would be called once again. So again everything would be considered from here, I mean the position. And one more thing here is like I need to increment the position from here as well. Alright, so position plus plus. Alright, so in this way the position would be incremented, and then the same process would be continued from here, by the way. And then if that specific answer is not, if that specific question is not reached to the length of that specific array, then again the whole process would be continued from here. Alright, so at the end, yeah, let's see the output now. If I am refreshing this, I'm gonna start the test. I'm going to select this one, and you can see that value are going to be changed. 4 plus 2, which is 6, going to submit. Then 2 plus 5 equal to 7, and going to click on submit. Then I'm getting 1 plus 2 equals to 3, then submit. Then you can see the pop-up which is showing me the test completed. Okay, so I can actually modify everything after that. For example, I am interested to show here test completed, and I wanted to show the value. So document dot get element by ID, and you know that in the ID I have the question, I mean in this div I wanted to display the value, some value, dot inner HTML equals to a string like correct answers, then I am writing here concatenate and then correct variable. Alright, because you know that correct variable we have declared outside, so whatever would be the incremented value, so that would be displayed over there. So let's see. So I'm gonna start it again, then gonna submit the answers. So now you can see that here is test completed, and you can see that correct answers equals to 2. So we can do the calculation according to our need. So actually you can do the modification and do something according to your need, but I am just giving you the clue that how you can develop such type of applications, and this is really a simple application to use to do the test, create a test of multiple choice questions. Alright, so if you are thinking that this is difficult, or you may be stuck with some function or any specific array, then feel free to ask me the question in the WhatsApp group or maybe in the comment section of the channel. I will definitely try my best to help you out. So in the next video we will be learning something more important, but for now I think you must got the basic understanding that how we can develop such a small applications using JavaScript. So basically we have only two functions. First is check answer and another is render question. Alright, so render question is going to be called when we are going to start the test, and then everything is over here, like we need to show the radio buttons, we need to show the questions value. So I already told you that I have an array of questions in which I have mentioned 2 plus 2, which is showing me the question. You can change the label like what is 2 plus 2. So in this way, if you will be seeing over here, you will get something like this. So you can design according to your need, right? So then after we have some options and then we have the answer. So we are just calculating it with the index value. So you know that position value is referring to the specific question. For example, we have 0 index, that means first question, then second, then third, then fourth. So we are incrementing and doing everything according to our requirement. So I think that you got the basic understanding. If you are having any problem, then feel free to share, and we will definitely try our best to help you out. So in the next video we will be learning something more important, and please share this video to your friends who are thinking that they need to learn the JavaScript, and also subscribe the channel and make a comment so that I get to know that you are understanding something which I am just helping you in the form of video. So thank you so much. See you in the next video.